Albert Einstein once said, "If you judge a fish by its inability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life thinking it's stupid." Many of us are living our lives like the fish in context. Our society, educational system, and a lot of factors, just to mention a few, have set up a standard for all of us, and our inability to live up to those standards make us think we are failures. Let's look at a typical example in our childhood days when we were asked about our career choices. Some spoke of being medical doctors, lawyers, musicians, comedians, and what have you. We can all bear witness to certain instances where teachers wrote off certain kids about their career choices because the society thinks it's not worthy enough. We have all been engineered like robots to fit in pre-formulated holes created by the educational system and society, which is killing our geniuses. And the ones who do not fit in these holes are stigmatized. The truth is, you can't force a square peg into a round hole. In today's video, I'm going to show you the different types of geniuses we have and why each genius behaves the way they do, and how you can channel your genius into living a self-fulfilling life instead of being made to think that you are stupid because you are simply a square peg that doesn't fit in round holes set up by the society and the educational system. Before we start, I'll leave a link in the description below for you to take a test to know the kind of genius you are. There are basically 4 types of geniuses. The Dynamo Genius, ideas smart. They are buzzing with new ideas all the time, but never finish what they started. The Blaze Genius, people smart. They love and always want to be around people, but gets distracted quickly. The Tempo Genius, senses smart. They are down to earth, but often gets lost in activity. The Steel Genius, detail smart. They always pay attention to the details, but sometimes overcautious. Let's use a diagram to illustrate how these geniuses use parts of their brain into learning. The Dynamo Genius uses the frontal lobe, which is basically used for intuitive thinking. That's why they are buzzing with new ideas, which is the opposite of the Tempo Genius. They use their temporal lobe, which is linked to our senses. They do on-the-job learning, thus they need all their senses when learning. The right brain thinking is typical of Blaze geniuses, which is more of extrovert thinking. That's to say, everything connects with each other. And the left brain thinking, which is typical of Steel geniuses, is more introvert actions. That's to say, analytical thinking. Now let's look at how each genius learns. Every genius has its natural way of approaching learning. We have visual learners, audio learners, kinesthetic learners, and analytic learners. But one way or the other, we find ourselves being forced to learn a certain way that doesn't bring out the genius in us. Let's start with the Dynamo Genius, the what learners. They are visual learners. Before they can understand a concept, they need to see the bigger picture of the concept. And once they get a bigger picture, ideas start flowing and they'll be able to explain it to other people. They usually learn best with graphical elements with short explanations. So a lengthy course session without graphical elements makes the course boring to them because they have short attention span. For instance, if you give them a 100-page document to read, they'll be like, "Can you give me a bigger picture?" If you are one of these people, don't feel shy to tell someone who gives you a 100-page document to read in order to get a concept to give you the bigger picture. They might call you lazy, but that shouldn't be your problem. It's your natural way of learning. Blaze Genius, the Who learners. They are auditory learners, and they are all about people. They love communicating, and they do their learning from talking. Group discussions help these kinds of people a lot because they get to communicate and get communicated to. So whenever the educational system doesn't put in measures for group discussions in order to help bring out the genius in them, they are seen as dumb, whereas they are not. Tempo geniuses are kinesthetic learners. They practically learn when they have their hands on the job. For instance, if you are teaching such a student about robotics and you give a detailed step-to-step explanation, that student won't understand a thing because that's not his or her natural way of learning. You might call such a student block-headed because you have given all the detailed explanation, but still the person isn't getting it. Maybe you would have a still genius who is more detailed and analytical in your class, to whom this method is more applicable to, and you will end up telling a tempo genius to become a still genius when he is not. Still geniuses are analytic learners. They learn through detailed and well-analyzed explanations. So, when such genius isn't getting such explanations, they find it difficult understanding concepts. They are the how learners. They need to know how that concept came about, how such concept is applicable, and so on. So if you just give them a long lecture about the what and who, it won't be of much help to them. Let's look at the leadership skills of each genius. Let's look at leaders who led in their own respective and natural ways, and are geniuses at what they do. Steve Jobs, a task-based leader, full of ideas, who focuses a lot on getting things done rather than the people. Dynamo leadership is based on driving the new idea or project forward and knocking over tasks to move ahead. They measure their success by the things they have created. People, analysis, and timing take second place when they are leading. They are the right candidate if you want to get things moving. But once things start moving, move them onto a new project and appoint a new leader. Example, a blaze genius who is a people-based leader. Jack Welch, a people-based leader. He never created a new thing, but he led a great thing. Blaze geniuses focuses on keeping stronger relationships, and they are the right candidates when it comes to encouraging and motivating others. They focus on motivating people to perform at their best. They are not full of ideas like the dynamos, but they help continue what the dynamos have started. They measure their success by satisfying the people. Warren Buffett, an activity-based leader who is very good at timing. They focus on ongoing activities and lead best when keeping everyone on track. While dynamos are about creation and blazes are about collaboration, tempos are about consultation. When Woodrow Wilson once said, "The ear of the leader must ring with the voices of the people," he was talking about tempo leadership. People nowadays read books on leadership skills and force themselves to be leaders they aren't meant to be. Don't expect any creative plan from a tempo leader, but do expect what needs to be done in order to get things done on time. Mark Zuckerberg, a data-based leader. He doesn't focus on communicating with people or timing because he has people on his team who oversee these activities. These geniuses lead best when managing everybody by measures and metrics. While a tempo leader is about consultation, a still leader is about calculations. While a blaze leader can access his sales team by being on the field with them, the still leader will know by sitting back and just looking at numbers. So, you will see that there are leaders who lead by being upfront, and there are others who lead by being at the back. You might be criticized one way or the other by not implementing a particular style of leadership skill. For example, if you are a tempo leader, though you are an expert at getting things done on time, you will be criticized for not bringing in new ideas as a dynamo leader would have done. But hey, don't worry. That's your natural way of leading. Get a dynamo leader on your team than to force yourself to be the leader you are not. If you enjoyed this insightful video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more insightful videos on your YouTube feed.